What's up, everybody? It's Trey Smith, one half of the Blue Bloods College Game Time podcast. This is the YouTube channel that drops fresh college sports content every single day. You are on the Hog Heaven playlist with Razorback exclusive content. You know what I'm going to talk about, okay? I'm talking about the stupid transfer portal. I really don't even want to make a video about this, but I've gotten some requests. I've gotten to some discussions with some different fellow Hog fans. Somebody hit me up on Twitter, I think, and I just don't want to make a video because I'm not as, dare I say, dramatic as everybody else is. I know right now everyone's on fire. I know right now everyone's freaking out because of Fouché, Greg Brooks Jr., Malik Hornsby, and then about 15 others, it seems like. I know Devin Bush, but the ones that we're feeling the most are Brooks, Fouché, team captain Fouché, and Malik Hornsby. Not necessarily because Malik Hornsby was like destined to be the starting quarterback next year. Obviously, we're set at that position, but if you watched one of my previous videos and I talked about the weapon that he could be at a different position, but I'm not shocked by Hornsby because obviously he wants to play quarterback, so he's probably going to go somewhere where he can play that. I don't know. I'm throwing it out there, maybe UTSA. Who knows? Back closer to where he's from. Had a great season this year, unless he's going to go play just at another Power 5 school. I have no idea. I don't care. And here's why I don't care. Because all of these rumors that are just flying around that nobody really knows, everyone thinks they know something, but no one really knows. The bottom line is we are in a time where this generation of college athletes, and really just athletes in general, I mean, look at Antonio Brown. It's just unpredictable. It's just unpredictable. Literally, you could sit down with your coach at the end of the season and talk about how excited you are about the following season, and then all of a sudden, 2 days later, you're ready to transfer somewhere else. We're just in a society right now where we always think the grass is always greener, and with this NIL Wild Wild West format in college football, we also think the money's going to be greener. So the grass is always greener, the money's always greener. We want to go to the other side and see what else is out there. And I'll tell you what, if all this stuff that's going on about Sam Carter and him being too tough and him being too hard on the kids or whatever it is, I like the fact that he's holding guys accountable. I love watching that guy coach on the sidelines. And you know what? Everyone else in the fan base did too a year ago in 2020 when we spent 2 years watching guys hardly get held accountable at all. It's nice seeing someone get in someone's face and get in someone's rear end during the game, holding them accountable, holding them to a standard. I'm not saying that you should treat every single athlete the same and, you should treat the starters just like the walk-ons. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is you hold everyone to the same standard. And if his standard is that high and the standard that has produced the growth in guys like Monrick Brown, who is not the same player that he was when he came into this program. Guys on the back end like Jalen Catalon, I mean, when you see the progress and improvement of the players that he's coaching, and I see how hard he's coaching them on the sidelines, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I support that. I can remember watching games week in and week out. I remember watching North Texas come in and absolutely embarrass us. Western Kentucky absolutely embarrass us. San Jose State absolutely embarrass us. And hearing the same thing every week. Oh, it's just unacceptable. Unacceptable. Well, best is our standard. And if we don't have best at any position or at any position coach, they're not going to be here. Yet the same coaching staff rolled out every week. The same players rolled out every week. And it was the same thing on the field. So I'm not going to get mad at a guy who's holding players accountable and who's coaching hard. That's just the bottom line. Where I'm at this point is this. These guys better look at Mike Woods as an example. Now, this guy played all through spring, played in the spring game, played really well, showed out in the spring game, and then I don't remember if it was days or weeks later, but he ends up going to OU. And look at how that worked out. On paper, as a Hog fan, objectively speaking, it made sense for him. Go play with a quarterback who's projected to be the #1 overall pick, possibly, and the Heisman Trophy winner. Go play in a system where you're probably going to get a lot more action, a lot more balls, and a lot more yards. And really, with how OU had performed They're always they've been in the hunt for a playoff spot. So everything about it made sense. And then look how it played out. He didn't have as much catches or as many yards as he's totaled the last 2 years playing at Arkansas. He didn't have near as many touchdowns as he had last year. And then the quarterback situation out there with OU, I mean, really, if you look at it in hindsight, which is always 2020, it really didn't work out better for him had he just stayed with the Hogs. Now, I'm not saying it was just a complete disaster or anything. And like, I'm not saying he did anything to hurt himself. But what I'm saying is the I guess, increase in draft stock I think he thought he was going to get by making that move, he didn't get that. I mean, he didn't really do anything much bigger than what he did at Arkansas. In fact, he performed compared to what he did at Arkansas last year. And so I just think if he would have been here this year, now, as my buddy pointed out today, none of us could have really predicted that KJ was going to do what he did going from Rice to Missouri. And I agree with that. I'm just saying, let's learn from this guy and go, okay, he went to what on paper looked like a perfect, just match made in heaven situation for what his future goals were. And now hindsight, he could go look and go, wow, had I just stayed, one, I could have been the difference in us playing in a New Year's Six game. And two, I probably would have had an even better season than what I had here at OU to improve my draft stock. Like, he's a perfect example that what appears to be the best option on paper isn't always the best option. So I don't care to really get in here and talk about what all the different other rumors are. All I'm going to say is if you're going to leave, don't let the door hit you. I do trust that we're about to terrorize the transfer portal to the same extent that the transfer portal seems to be terrorizing us right now. And here's the deal. Get ready. We will have a 3,000-yard rushing team next year, led by KJ Jefferson and our offensive line and our stable of running backs. And the only one I'm keeping an eye on that I want to make sure stays is A.J. Green. Because if we can have the three-headed monster of Dominic Johnson, Rocket Sanders, and A.J. Green back there with KJ Jefferson, we'll go figure out the defense. We'll get the portal. But if we have that and we're a 3,000-yard rushing team, I mean, we're going to win some football games. Make no mistake about it. The year we went 11-2, we were giving up nearly 28 points per game in conference play. Now, granted, we had an offensive genius as our head coach, but the type of firepower we had on that team is similar to the type of firepower we're going to have on this team, just at different positions. That's the bottom line. So, all I'm going to say, Razorback Nation, I'm not worried about it. And I'm obviously, I got a little passionate about how I feel about this situation. I think I'm just tired of seeing everyone overreact like the world's going to end and the sky's falling, because it's not. And just sit tight. Let's let the offseason play out. Let's get into spring ball. Let's not forget that we just went 9-4 and won a New Year's Day bowl. Let's not get into this, oh, we can't have good things. Oh, it's so hard being a Hog fan. I'm not buying into that. I think that we will replace what we lose, and we will be just fine. And our identity is going to be built around that stable of running backs, our quarterback, and our offensive line next year. Okay, I'm done. Thank you for watching. And if I haven't said it already, please hit subscribe.